All right, let's break this guy down real quick. Sorry, guys, I don't have my webcam set up, but so long story short, I'm gonna be doing these like this TikTok series where I'm gonna be doing like little remix snippets of songs for the platform, and I figured what better than to take full advantage of that situation and give you guys the project files to each of those. So that being said, I wanted to break it down first. That way, if there's anything in the project that you are missing, you can go in and, act accordingly. If something doesn't sound right, you understand why. It's very important that you understand exactly what's going on in the project to me. So we'll start here from the top. So this is my my Turn on the Lights remix. And this is a very, very simple remix, to be honest with you. We're going to start with what's on the master. So here on the master, I've been experimenting a little bit with my master chain lately. So basically all these things that you're seeing right here are going to be on my master chain probably over the next several months, but just in various capacities. So right here is Ozone 7, and all I have this guy doing is it's EQ matching. It's EQ matching against another song of mine, which I deleted and took out of the project, but it still has the frequency response from that track. So that's why it auto corrected to raise the highs a little bit and lower the mids and lows a little bit here, and that's what sounded best. So right here I have an M wave shaper. I've been experimenting with using this tool on the master a little bit. You can get some nice extra little push out of it without. It gives you that sort of very clean bass distorted sound without pushing it too hard. Clip shifter, we know this guy. We're familiar with him. This is the hard clipper that I prefer to use because I believe it has the best hard clipping algorithm for a master chain. Extra sub push, which just pushes that sub a little bit further. And then I put another clip shifter in here, I believe, because I left G clip in there. So I don't really know why this extra clip shifter's in there, but I'm not going to touch them. And yeah, and then this is just so that I can monitor what's going on in the mix, but everything else here is very standard. This is all that's on my master chain. So let's go down. There's no vocals here. Here's the intro. We got the vocals directly from the original track. Just a little EQ on them. And then this section is just brass from Ableton. And then this guy's just a little bass patch I whipped together in about 2 seconds. That's about it. Nothing too special going on there. In the build, we have the main build drum, and this is literally the only acting build element. I was super fucking lazy with this remix. Of course, there will come a day when I finish it, and when I do, I will probably flesh out the build and some of these other parts a little bit more. Excuse me, but that day is not today. All that I have going on here is a snare, and then it's sidechained to the intro sound sidechain guy right there, and then the build sound sidechain guy right there, and that's it. And that's it for that guy. Then there's this little white noise riser. Usually I EQ filter it by going like this. And I guess I completely didn't give a fuck, so I'll just turn that off right now because I'm going to leave it as is. All right, to the drop. This is where we can dig into most of the stuff. So here's the drums. I'll just play them for you real quick. Now, the one thing I want you to note is that little do thing. That's this guy right here. So I actually layered a second kick drum, real nice and tight. This has Kilohertz Transient Shaper. It's a free plugin. I layered that to add a little bit more punch to when the synth is going do. This also plays that rhythm. Kick is it's a sensible kick. You'll probably see this in all of my projects. Snares and ivory clap layered together, and then a little bit of just EQ work and shit going on here. You can see I was being a little bit redundant with those EQs because I decided not to go for them. This guy, that's what I talked about before. This is the open hat that I decided to use for this guy, which is from the Cymatics Jaws pack, baby. Oh yeah, throwback. And then this is just the little metal ding that I use on my snares. That's for me. You guys don't really have to fuck with that if you don't want to, because if you start putting that in your tracks, everybody's gonna say it sounds like Crank Dad instead of sounds like U. So you don't necessarily need that. A little snare fill. This is probably just a, yep, probably a snare. And lastly, this guy muted, so it doesn't matter. Let's get rid of him. All right, and that's pretty much it for those. Let's go look at the sounds. So here is the I believe there's like the same exact area of the track as up here. Yeah, it looks like it. And all I did was I gated it a little bit harder with this utility. I put some stuff on here, a little bit of dispersing with the EQ3s. This guy isn't even on right now. What's going on here in Serum Effects is this. You got some tube distortion. I turned the phaser off so we can get rid of him. And then looks like I have the chorus on there a whole let me see. Oh, so I see. I automated the chorus to turn up. That's right. Yeah, so the chorus turns up here when it gets into the actual drop section. The fake out doesn't have any chorus going on there. But the phase was still off regardless, so. And yeah, that's pretty much it there for that. This Serum FX is doing nothing. Wow, I really just fucking throwing a whole bunch of nothing on this project. This is where the meat and potatoes is down here. So we got the sub, of course, as usual. It's the maximal sub rack that I keep in my template. And then this section right here. These are just some various patches. I can't even remember which ones I used. There's dispersing again. It's literally just white noise. Lol. Okay. So that one's white noise. This one is one of my gritty basses, gritty bass 4. Yep. With the gritty bass rack on it. And then this guy, I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing. I guess this is a custom patch with gritty. How fitting. And then I guess I just did some more synth work here, OTT and this shit, and then layer them all together. And then these guys, what's happening here is they're all going into this rack. VR Multiband is a rack that I've been using lately, so I'll show it to you here. I got this off of Affinity. One of my boys posted something on Twitter. He said he got this from a Virtual Riot live stream. So if you want these settings, pause this video and you can copy this into whatever ozone you have. But this works really well. It's just a general like multi-band compressor that kind of helps you get what I would refer to as like the golden ratio of like band leveling. One thing to note from this though is that you see that I don't have everything slamming all the way up into the limiter. You can disregard this because as you can see I cut out the lows anyway, so this band doesn't even matter. But for blue, yellow, and red here, they're not slamming all the way up into the limiter. They're just barely moving past that compressor line. That's how I leveled it in order for it to do its job, but not, be doing so much heavy lifting that it completely fucks the sound. And then I don't know what this utility is doing. It doesn't look like it's automated to turn on. And then lastly, I think for whatever reason, I decided to put a modulator on here. Lightens the sound a little bit. So that's it. That's pretty much all that's going on here. These guys are feeding into the Into Clipper group, which has an M wave shaper, which really, really pushes that envelope. I kind of talked about that on the master. Again, I've been experimenting with that and I really like the way it sounds. But again, I guess I do have that turned to 100%, so whatever. Clip shifter is completely redundant then, but we'll leave them on there. Soothe 2 right here. This guy is just nerfing some of those harsher frequencies, and then the MBC is so that I can level the sub from there after. Because if I were to level the sub directly here on the channel itself, it would affect how much this sub is pushing against these other synths when it goes into this Into Clipper group. And I wanted that level. I wanted the level of distortion that I had, but the level of sub that I had was a little bit too strong, so I turned it down using this MBC. And then another clip shifter here because I did not. So if I were to play it like this, you'll see it breaks. It fucks with the phase, and therefore it starts to clip again, and I don't want that. So I just put another clip shifter, and that was it. And yeah, that's pretty much it over here. There's just some like other shit going on, extra layers and stuff that you can fuck around with, but that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna freeze this and I'm gonna give it to you guys, and then yeah, you guys can enjoy, and I'll get you another one next week. Thanks, guys. Later.